All right, guys, let's get started. We've got two awesome guests with us tonight. We've got Brian and Michelle Austin. But why don't you guys give us like a 10-minute overview about how you guys got started, and we would love to have that context as we get into this webinar with you guys tonight. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's an honor to be on. We always like spending time with you guys.
Yeah.
Man, so I'm active duty military. Michelle is a real estate agent here in North Carolina. We were looking at having to go back to sea duty with the United States Navy, which is, fantastic. The Navy's been a blessing. I got nothing bad to say about it, truly. But at the same token, I really like my wife and I really like my kids, and I didn't want to have to go anywhere.
I want him to stay here.
Yeah, so we figured that we needed to, supplement our income in such a way where we could, spend some more time together and be able to work together more to avoid, all of that overseas exposure that we were looking down the barrel of. Oh yeah, you're fine.
Man, thanks for your service.
Hey, it's been an honor. I appreciate the support. Seriously, I saw a lot of people on there saying that, but it truly has been a great honor.
So you decided you really like your wife,
yeah,
and then you did 42 deals together. How did that happen?
She did all the work.
No, it's a joint effort, but I don't know. We just jumped ship and did the first one, and I guess we just felt really motivated after that first transaction, and we were very blessed. It just went smoothly. We were able to make a great profit. And I think that really fueled the fire of us wanting to do more, seeing how easy it was. And I'm not saying that we didn't have any difficulty, but just the overall transaction was really smooth. DealMachine was definitely the asset that kept it, that made it happen. And I feel like we did one and we just wanted to do more. It's like, let's do that again. That was fun. And then, we were able to, see the profit after the first couple of deals. We felt like in the first couple of months, we were spending out money and we were sending out mailers. And when that first one hits, it's like, oh my gosh, this is real. This does work and it's happening.
Absolutely.
And now we look back at where we were, and it's definitely, God has definitely blessed us in this path.
Yeah, it became proof of concept,
Exactly.
real quick. And I think once that happened, because for anybody that's actually seen any of our other interviews that we did with Elise, we both had an interest in real estate investing. So we sought out the right people. We ended up on the phone with Josh Johnson. He said, "Hey man, try this thing," and we did. And within a month, maybe two, I think we closed our first deal. And then it was just kind of one after another, and we've sort of just taken all of that energy and redirected it back into the business. And because it seems like a lot of people I think we're making a lot of money, and in a way we are, but we're recycling all of that stuff back into our business and increasing just so that we can gain traction and and multiply our business.
Yep. And that thing Josh told you to do was, I'm guessing, hire drivers. I know you have 4 drivers, right?
Oh, no. So what Josh said was like, dude, you need to download this app called DealMachine. And I was like, Josh Johnson, I saw your video, man. Awesome. I'm talking to you, dude. Like, where's David? Where's that hairdo? But yeah, so like immediately, literally, we got DealMachine on our phones that day, pulled over on the side of the road, and I think we added, I don't know, like 150 deals that first day, man. Like,
yeah,
like no BS. So
okay, you started driving for dollars, and that was the initial strategy yourself.
Yes. It was our date night activity.
Yeah, still is.
We'd go through the drive-through, grab some grub, and take off looking for houses.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Now, how much did you spend, you think, before you started seeing some of that come back? I know you'd mentioned that happened.
So I remember, so I don't watch that too close now because I guess
you have to spend money to make money. and it will come
Well, I
back.
don't know. I mean, the first couple things that we mailed out was a letter, I mean,
Yeah.
we got some response on just like handwritten letters before, I'm bumping into Josh. So, I mean, what did that cost? 49 cents a letter. I'm not saying we got a deal out of it, you know what I mean? But I think we went ahead when we got DealMachine, we said, you know what, we're going to go ahead, we're going to go all in. So, we went ahead and got the enterprise. So I think that at the time was, like $400 or something. And I'd say we probably sent out 300-400 mailers before we got our first deal, but that was like in a month because I mean we were excited, we were hungry, so we started adding deals. So what does that equate to? Like $500-600 for a first deal? Like you can't beat that. We made 18 grand off of it. Come on, what are you gonna do?
And now you actually one of the people that sold a house to you've recruited as a driver, is that right? And they're active.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, they reached out recently and they were house hackers actually, right? So they kind of they moved in, they hacked it, they made some bucks, and they're like, hey, we want to drive for you guys, and maybe you can help us find our next house hack.
Well, we're actually they're looking at 2 of our properties right now to consider buying to do another house hack on their end. So it's going to be a repeat. That relationship has been established.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of my favorite parts of this thing is the whole connection and being able to make those connections, build that friendship. The networking is very important. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. This is a great support system between DealMachine and Elise and Josh Johnson and just the whole crew. It's almost like this one big family all working for the same common goal. And our goal is to improve the communities in which we live and to try to help our neighbors make their quality of life better. So, I mean, we're realizing that,
That's the idea, is one big family working towards the same goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really awesome to hear you say that. We definitely try to make it that way, but it's really great to hear you say that without us saying it.
Well, people. So we're starting to get like out there in the REI communities and stuff, and our name is being recognized, and that wasn't kind of intentional. It was just, I guess it was just kind of organic, like that's how it goes, but people ask all the time, like, and I tell them like, dude, we got the best marketing team on the planet. Here's how you do it.
Yep. And you guys actually got, of the 42 deals, I think all of them but 3 were from direct mail, right? What kind of direct mail have you been sending?
Just the postcards.
We increased the touch points instead. I think we started out with 7 and we increased it to 12 because we realized that after 7, we're finally at that timeline where some of those are falling off, and who knows what opportunity we may have missed if we'd have just reached out one more time. So we went in there and we increased our touch points so they get a few more mailers, just so that if they're teetering with the idea, it's like that little nudge to say, well, go ahead and call them, go ahead and call them and see what they have to offer. And we've gotten a couple of deals out of that. They get the 8th or 9th postcard and they're like, well, I've been getting these postcards and I've been thinking about it, and I figured I'd call and see what you guys are all about.
Yeah, we just had one contact that said it was the 11th touch. So the 11th touch point, and they finally,
we broke them down.
Well, I think a lot of it is timing,
Yeah.
So somebody might be thinking about the idea, but maybe they want to hold on to this asset, or rather this thing that they think is an asset that actually isn't. And then, when that pressure point becomes painful enough, then they finally decide, you know what, I need to get rid of this thing and give it to somebody who can, work with it, because I can't.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of what happened in that situation.
Got it. It's really interesting that you went from 7 touch points to 12, because people aren't necessarily ready to sell right away. You found it, and you've gotten deals on the 11th, and that it's kind of like a consistency thing. That's the vibe that I'm picking up that you guys have learned.
Yes.
Yeah, and consistency.
Patience and consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, we're so lucky. I'm thankful to have Brian and Michelle with us tonight. I want you guys to start thinking about questions you have for them. If you guys have a question for Brian and Michelle, I want you guys to type it in the chat. We're going to be picking people who have the best questions in the chat to come on, to turn your video on and your audio on and join us in the conversation. So go ahead and start asking some of those questions now, and we look forward to hearing from some of you guys. Oh, looks like we've got somebody joining right away. Suzanne, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Hey, Suzanne, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Great. Thanks so much for asking. How can we help?
My question is, since you started, what systems have you put in place that are now part of your everyday as far as beginning to end, you know, like how you get the leads? Obviously you're using DealMachine, but how do you organize? How do you follow up? What are some systems that you've created?
So that is actually a
Great
great question because so one of the things that I'm horrible with is time management, and I'm still active duty military, and Michelle is still, you know, an active duty licensed realtor. So time is not something that we have enough of.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the right way to say that. So we have discussed different systems that need to be put into place, and we do have some drivers going. Our daughter is now starting to go through some of our return mailers and try to figure out how to get those in the system with the correct address. So the only thing that I can tell you that we've done consistently is this weird little app called DealMachine on my cell phone, because I got to be honest with you. So all of our business is done on this phone, man. You know, so we use the CRM. There's even a couple tools in there that like we're probably not using well enough, like you know, the texting and things like this. We've talked about doing some you know, some mass texting campaigns and things like this. And we're at a part in our business where we need to start putting systems in place, because we nailed down 16 deals this month, and that's a lot.
It's a little overwhelming,
Yeah,
honestly.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
I see Elise doing the happy dance.
Yeah, it's a lot, but that's all we've done is use our cell phones. I probably logged on to DealMachine on the laptop like, I don't know, twice since we got started, and that's no lie. So we've done it all on our cell phone.
Okay.
But follow up is important, and that's one of the things whenever somebody reaches out to us. One of the things that we do, it seems like at least every day we sit and talk. Just, you know, it may be first thing in the morning while we're sitting out here on the porch doing a coffee, or in the evenings after we get home and the kids are settled down, and we just sit and, you know, I'll enjoy a glass of wine, he'll have a beer, or we'll just sit out here and enjoy another cup of coffee and just kind of brainstorm and go back through, you know, messages and calls and text messages we may have gotten through the day. Make notes for, you know, what we're going to do the next day. You know, I'll follow up with this person. You need to reach out to the attorney about this one. You know, just kind of set a plan for each day so that we know, because I'm busy, he's busy. We have 4 kids, as we've said before. So, I mean, it's a busy lifestyle, and to throw something else in the mix can be overwhelming. But if you just kind of lay it out there and kind of deviate, you know, the responsibilities, it makes it a lot more manageable.
Yeah, it's Michelle brings up a good point. That is one thing we did is we sat down and delegated, you know, who's going to do what, and that was a huge help because we are our, our business. So, you know, Michelle runs the comps. I usually do the initial contact. Michelle helps do the follow-ups, especially if it's an elderly woman or something like that, because they don't want to hear me on the phone. They want to hear her pretty voice, you know. But as soon as somebody reaches out and contacts us, that we go in the CRM and we move that to appointment set, right?
We make notes.
And we make notes right there on the CRM, right there on our cell phone. And we say, hey, this is what we talked about. This is the husband's name, the dog's name. This is how many kids they have. So that when we have time to sit down and get back to that conversation, we can remember not just the client we're talking to, but the person that we're talking to.
Do you pre-screen them?
What do you mean?
Pre-screen.
I mean, like, maybe it's not a deal for you, Like maybe maybe they have a mortgage, or maybe it's
So-
not a deal that you can buy
We've
before you
learned-
go see it.
Right.
Yes.
We've learned all the right questions to ask.
Just
and-
from trial and error
Yeah,
and
and we
experience.
just kind of learned that, trial and error, but we still go out and look at properties and meet people that we know we're not going to buy just to make new friends.
Okay.
And sometimes it may be a property that, like you said, it may be a mortgage or something that we can't really afford to fork out the money to do. So, or it may be more value than what we could give them for a wholesale deal. For example, we just had one, we had sent mailers and the wife called and Brian was talking to her. And the house was, the retail value was there. I mean, it was an older home. It needed just a little bit of work, but the value was absolutely there. And so instead of us making a wholesale deal out of it, I offered to list it. I ran some comps and ended up listing the property and ended up finding the buyer through our business. So I ended up closing it last Friday and I had both sides of the transaction through my real estate company.
Yeah,
So
so
That's so great. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's almost exactly what I'm doing. So that's why I'm curious.
keep
Yeah.
doing it.
DealMachine is such a fantastic tool. Like you just got to
Mhm.
figure out how it works for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're an agent or you like to flip, there's no reason that you can't use the system,
Yeah.
to get direct deals for yourself rather than, having to go to a wholesaler. I hope you do, because I love wholesaling and it's a lot of fun and we make a lot of money doing it. But there's so many different avenues that you could go with this thing. It's kind of insane, but thanks so much for the question.
Yes.
Sure.
Suzanne.
Thank you for the answers. It's great.
Yeah,
Thanks
absolutely.
for taking
Reach
time
out
to join
us.
us.
Yeah, reach out to us on Facebook sometime.
Yeah,
if you got more
absolutely.
questions.
Okay.
Suzanne, we hope you enjoy the funny little app on your phone, just like Brian mentioned. Hey, Destiny, can you hear us? Looks like we've got Destiny joining.
Hey, hi, can you hear me?
Hey,
Hi,
I can
Destiny.
hear you. Do you have a video?
Yeah, turn on the video, guys. Let's see these smiling faces.
Oh gosh. Okay, give me just a
Don't put her on the spot. Your
Put
picture's
everybody on the
gorgeous.
spot.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see Lisa. Yeah.
I actually have
Hey,
my
look at
hair
her.
pulled
She's
back
absolutely
today. I have a head wrap on today, but I don't know. Can you guys see
Hey.
me?
Hey, girl, how
Hi.
you doing?
Hi.
Hi. Well, I want to say, Brian, thank you for your service. And you guys, your story is amazing, and I'm really excited. I'm actually I'm a licensed realtor in Arizona. I'm a newly licensed realtor,
Go, girl.
and thank you. I have a question for Michelle, being a licensed realtor as well.
Okay.
What would you say? Do you have any best tips and practices as far as with reaching out about buying properties yourself as a realtor to avoid any type of fines? Because that's where I'm kind of stuck on. I don't want to get sued.
That's a
Right.
good question.
Well, of course, I reached out to the commission before I ever got started because I was nervous and anxious and I didn't want to, I worked really hard. You work your ass off to get that real estate license. You don't want to lose it.
Right. Exactly.
Of course, I reached out to the commission and I asked them, if I'm doing this, am I going to get in trouble, or, is there any consequence through the real estate commission? And
Right.
of course they said, well, we can't legally stop you, and it's completely illegal, completely legal to operate and do wholesaling. So we don't want you to do it, but we can't stop you. And I said, well, that's all I need to know. Just don't want to get in trouble, but
Right.
the way that I approach it, we have it on all of our marketing. And the first thing I say whenever I'm in conversation with somebody is we introduce ourselves and I tell them, I am a licensed North Carolina real estate agent.
And a damn good one.
Thanks, babe. And I tell them, my job as a real estate agent is to help you find the best, equity in your home, or, the most value for your home. So as a wholesaler, typically we're looking at homes that aren't ready to go on the market. They're not properties that are going to be able to be listed without some work, some level of repair. So, we give them different options. I'm not above telling them, look, if you wanted to put this much into your property and do these things, I could certainly list it and the after repair value would definitely be this much, I could see compared to other properties that have sold in the market.
Right.
Sometimes they want me to list it. I mean, I have successfully, helped people get it to the point where they wanted to list it, and I've listed it and sold it that way. But then too, a lot of times people will say, well, I really appreciate you giving me that information. I don't have the money or the time or the desire to do that. So make me an offer. And then Brian and I'll run the numbers and we'll make them an offer, and then we buy it and we do the work, or we pass it on to the investor who does the work, and ends up with the sale. But it's just making sure that you, put that disclaimer out there. Just make sure you cover yourself. If you tell them up front that you are a licensed real estate agent, then they can't come back and say, well, she never told me and she took advantage of me, because you're honest with them from the beginning, and they trust you to build that relationship better too.
So
Absolutely.
Destiny, what's your business model? Like, what are you trying to start purchasing like long-term investments, or are you trying to use DealMachine as a way to find more listings, or both?
I'd like to do both, but I'm leaning more towards the long-term investment side of it.
Okay. So if I can make a small suggestion there, yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So if you're promoting yourself as a real estate agent, let's say you're like, okay, I'd rather close 5 $1 million deals a year than 50 $50,000 deals a year. Okay. I would suggest you use the handwritten letter option, right? It looks more personal. It costs a little bit more. It's a little bit higher end. And send those to your properties that you're marketing to as a real estate agent.
For listings.
Right, because what's going to happen, you're either going to stick it on the fridge, or they're going to stick it in that junk drawer beside the fridge, and they're going to come back to it one day when they decide, hey, I'm ready to sell. And I would suggest probably look for properties that have at least 40% equity in them. You can list machine to build lists to do that, or you can virtually drive for dollars, which is probably a better way to do it, in my personal opinion, because I feel like the property just is more tangible when it's not in a giant list. But we like driving for dollars with a list. Now, if you're talking about properties that are distressed and you want to purchase those, add a lot of them, add about 200 for every deal or two that you want to get, and send out that little postcard. You know what I'm saying? If money's an option, spread it out for a little while. If it's not, hit them up every 21 days for at least 3 months. And then after that, if you want to slow it down, go for it. But
there's different plans to make it affordable, where you can fit it to your budget. That's one of the great things about DealMachine is,
you're in control the whole time.
Yeah.
It's lovely. Anyway, Destiny, so nice to meet you. I hope that some of that is some help, girl.
Yeah, and of course,
it definitely
on Facebook. I'm on Facebook as Michelle Perry Austin Realtor and our ABM Homes. So if I can ever answer more questions, or if you have a situation you just want to brainstorm, I'm always available.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Girl.
Congrats.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us, Destiny. Oh, and one more thing too. If you are sending out mail through DealMachine, there's actually a spot to disclose that you're a real estate agent. So anyone has access to that in DealMachine. The place to find it is, it's called a signature. It's where you have your return address and your website, your phone number, and then a tiny little text box at the bottom that just will be disclosures, any type of disclosure.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm definitely going to utilize that.
Yeah, keep in mind, in most states, even on your mailers, you have to disclose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Realtor. Thanks, Destiny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I saw we had somebody else, and they must have been shy. Where did they go?
Oh.
Let's see.
This guy looks sharp. Otis, what's going on, my man?
Not too much.
Hey, Otis, do you have a video?
I'm trying to get it turned on. I can't find my icon. There we go.
There
There
it
he
is.
is.
Oh,
Awesome.
there it is. What up, my man?
Elise, I love the videos. You are
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Look, I was up at 3 o'clock this morning watching videos by Elise. So,
Yes.
man, I probably watched like 10 videos. My favorite one was the one where you had the lady who's doing the enterprise. I was like, damn, that girl the bomb. So it's like, you know, I'm trying to upgrade my plan. So it's all good. But yeah,
Oh
so
my
one of the
gosh, thank you,
challenges,
Otis. You made me, that just made my day.
so on my way to the gym this morning, the last video I watched was when you interviewed the guy. He had like his daughter's backpack in the background or something like that. That was like the last video that I watched, but you did an awesome job. So, you know, keep that pumping. But what I was going to ask you guys, so I've done like, you know, 23 deals. I got 4 that I'm trying to get
Awesome.
closed out. I think I got 1 in North Carolina. So I do some virtual wholesaling. But just wanted to know, what are some of the challenges that you guys face? Like, what was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
Man, so the biggest challenge is probably Chief season.
Yeah.
So
Getting through
yeah.
and not letting everything fall apart.
Yeah. So I think 2 things, man. One was probably pulling the trigger, and that was just, you know, we just let go and let God and said, hey, we're going to do this thing. We did it and it worked. You know what I mean? And then the second it was definitely time management, right?
Yes.
So as we've said before, we went out driving for dollars on date night. You know, we did it coming back from showing a property, or we'd go and I'd go with Michelle to show a property if she was maybe meeting a client that she had never met before. And then we drive for dollars in the neighborhood because it gives us good information to give to the person, you know, her
Buying
client that's
and-
buying. And then also there's been a couple of times we bought a house in that same neighborhood, made some money on it, which is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went through this training pipeline, which took about 3 months. And I mean, it was 18,
Brutal.
20-hour days, dude. It was something else.
But our marriage is stronger.
Yeah, you know,
love
it was a blessing truly. And it came with some really neat benefits at the end of that. But it was difficult for us to figure out, okay, who's doing what, because we were kind of both so all over the place as to who was talking to who was doing what. And so that is the point where we really like we no shit had to sit down and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what Michelle is going to do. These are the things that we're going to do together. And that is really when we started putting devices into place as to who was to do what in the business, so that the business could continue on even if one of us was down. So I think that is probably one of the biggest landfalls that we had to overcome. And I think that we were able to do that successfully, because even though we kind of took a little bit of a backslide during that time, you know, like I said, we just, you know, closed 16 deals in the last 30 days. So life is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Otis.
Yeah, congratulations
absolutely.
to you. It sounds like you're killing it too.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you asked that question, because, you know, I think that we all like have our uphill battles at one time or another, regardless how successful your business is. You know, even if it's just too successful and you're like, well, damn, I should have put these systems into place because I can't handle this volume. But, you know, part of that too is to be man enough or woman enough to say, hey, I need some help.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, that really was a great question, and that kind of helps me reflect on, you know, how good our partnership is and how we built this thing together. And, yeah, anyway, thanks, dude. It's nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Take care, Otis.
Otis, we better have a call about these deals, sir.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. We got to
You
get
can be the
Otis
next
on here.
webinar.
I'm cranking up on DealMachine. This is my first week using it, so I'm excited. I got to get my list skip traced, and I'm gonna call it myself. So
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Hey, you better keep us updated, man.
That's right. Welcome to the family.
Yeah,
That's right.
on, Otis. We're gonna be watching you, man.
That's right.
Hey, so Brian, I know you said sometimes it's best to know when to ask for help. And it kind of reminded me, I've always found it helpful to have different mentors at different stages. And I was curious if you have any mentors, or you, Michelle.
We do. Absolutely. I would say we've got a handful of them. One of the most important mentors that we've had, I think, along our journey was Dustin and Hannah. They've become good friends of ours. They were wholesalers. We were seeking people out that we could talk to, like actually have a conversation with. And so many wholesalers are just kind of shady and they're a little bit different. There's these guys on Facebook now that like to steal your listing and make it theirs and post it somewhere else. And, or people
We
like,
don't want to talk bad about anybody.
no, you're right. Okay. But so anyway, there was a lot of people that had a lot of information, but they didn't want to share it.
Right.
So we saw Dustin and Hannah, and they took time to teach us, to show us, hey man, this thing is real. This is how we do it. And they even held our hand, you know, for our first couple of deals. And as a matter of fact, Dustin was the one that turned us on to Facebook. But they were just fantastic people, very honest, very forthcoming.
Generous.
And they've been fantastic, you know. And then it later on, as the business was switching gears, we kind of have another mentor now, which is also a buyer of ours, somebody that we started doing some business together. And we've taken down some.
And he's also been a hard money lender.
Right.
I mean,
So he's been a huge
yeah.
part of the way that our business has been able to evolve. And it was simply because we took the time to build that friendship. It wasn't like, hey, dude, you're my mentor. It was, hey, man, let's get a cup of coffee. Let me pick your brain.
Yeah.
You know, and then we kind of progressed in that relationship and sort of doing business together. And we still do business together this day. And you know, I hope that we get to do business together
For years to come.
until he reaches his goals and we reach ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's important to have a mentor. Like you got to have one. It's part of evolution. You know, I mean, you gotta learn your craft, and a lot of times you just need a sanity check, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Or a support system.
Amen. Yeah.
Absolutely, and well said. It looks like we have somebody else who just joined us. Gregory, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Awesome. And do you have a video camera?
I do. Yes.
There he is.
What's up,
Yeah.
Gregory?
How you doing?
Hey, how you guys
Right
doing?
there. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you guys doing? You guys are doing
Good.
amazing.
Very blessed.
Yes, sir. So I'm actually active duty as well.
Cool.
Thank you for your
And I was
service.
just looking to see how you guys are able to organize your work duties as well as your business.
So,
There are some days where we
Yeah.
rarely have a moment to talk about our wholesaling and our ABM homes, because I'm, you know, working with buyers and sellers. I've got properties I'm listing, and he's got chief lead with the Navy. He may have to run down to Charlotte, which is a 2-hour drive. And I mean, it may be 10 o'clock before he gets home, and then we sit down and it's like, okay, well, we're both exhausted, so let's just talk about this in the morning. So then we'll put it off to the next morning, but we make time the next morning to sit back and just kind of reflect on the day before. You know, who did you hear from? Oh, we got a call from this lady we need to follow up with. You can do that today. Great. You can touch base with this person. So you just have to kind of find that balance. And even when you think you have it all worked out, something will go awry.
yes.
Throw a child in the mix.
Right. Or four of them. You know?
Yeah, right.
So, Greg, I think so. You guys like you and I kind of have a leg up on the competition a lot, you know. And here's why: it's something that the military teaches us that not everybody gets to learn until later on down the road. Is one, how to operate correctly under stressful conditions, right? So we all know how to operate under stress. We've been through boot camp. You know what I mean? Or we've been out in the field, or we've had a mission to complete with limited resources and no time to do it. So what do we learn there, right? We learn to adapt, we learn to overcome, we learn how to exercise time management, and we also learn that we can accomplish so much more in so little time that we ever thought humanly possible, right? So if you take just that little bit of training from the military and put that into your business, I promise you'll be successful.
It's great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Gregory,
Yeah,
it's
thank
so,
you for coming on.
yeah, so nice to meet you. I love talking with, you know, other military cats that are trying to, you know, help support the family and stuff. You know, Uncle Sam pays pretty good, but he don't pay that good. You know what I mean? So
I do know. Yeah.
yeah, so you keep fighting a good fight. You know, raise that capital for your family,
Absolutely.
evolve as a person, and grow that strength, man. You carry on and reach out to me on Facebook anytime, brother. I
Yeah.
got you.
We can ever
Will do.
help.
Will
Bye,
do. Thank you
Gregory.
guys very much.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Take
you.
care, brother.
Thanks, Gregory. And man, I liked what you said there, that key thing you learned from the military was learning how to just act properly under pressure. And that's translated to your business and I'm sure other situations too.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely think that has helped a lot.
Tracy Smith, you're asking if it's live, and I'm letting you know it is live. I just saw you're the second person who asked that. And I think maybe you guys are asking a lot of questions, and we're trying to bring you on as quickly as possible. We're just at, you know, we can't get to all of them right away. So keep the good questions coming. We're bringing on the best questions live, and AJ is also answering in the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm still, I saw in the chat here, I'm not sure who said it, but I'm actually still active duty.
And just so you guys know, we'll have a slide at the end that you guys can follow them on Instagram and DM them and ask them questions afterwards too. So just so everyone knows, I'm trying to get to everyone, but we can't get to everyone.
Yeah, also somebody said something about some background noise. I'm so sorry. We came out on the porch because it was fantastic. And somebody decided to turn their mower on, like at
And their blower.
or their blower down the road. So I'm sorry.
I actually didn't notice it. Yeah, I think you're fine. I think it might have been, I don't know. But it
We
looks
apologize if it's distracting.
like, no, I can't hear it.
Me neither.
I think they just cut it off.
Anthony, are you there? It looks like we've got Anthony here. And do you have a video? There you go.
I do. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Awesome.
Anthony,
Hi.
doing great. How about you, bud?
Doing well, doing well. Just had a question actually related to the drivers you guys have. I think I missed how many drivers you've actually you have now, but I was curious how you guys are you know, structuring pay for them.
Okay, so we had a great question. We had 16. We just took on another new one, and I think we're
From a
gonna.
property that we bought one of his distressed properties. he
Oh
began-
yeah, so
And
yeah, so
then
that's 17.
he was like, well, I want to learn more about what you guys do. And then he was like, that next day,
Yeah, you had a,
after we contracted his property, he was
20
out driving
properties,
for us and
something
added
like
like
that.
25
That's great.
properties.
Wow, yeah,
So
that's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, so we do it a couple of different ways, right? So we've got some family members that drive for us. We've got a young lady that's a single mom who needs like constant cash flow. So we'll pay her like $1 a deal that she adds, you know.
Yeah.
So you know she can go out
to help
and
compensate her
earn,
for gas money.
right. She can go out and earn 50 or $100 real quick. You know, if she needs that to kind of help get through. I say she's single, she's not, she's just not married. There is somebody else in the picture, but anyhow, that's irrelevant. Typically what we do is we like to pay commission, and we've got some people that are very aggressive and very good at driving for dollars based on commission. In fact, one of the drivers that we have in a particular area, she's a good friend of ours, and
Also active duty military.
yeah, also active duty military. And I think we're going to be paying her probably $5,000 or $6,000 in commission this month.
Okay.
Because a lot of these properties that we just nailed down are actually from hers.
So we set a
so-
commission rate.
Right.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
No,
but
it's cool.
we set a commission rate so that deals, if we make, is based on the percentage that we make. So if we make under like 9,000 or less, we'll pay 8% of our profit.
Okay.
If it's 10,000 or more, then we'll give them 10%. And if it's a great amount, we'll throw in a bonus. But that's how we sort of structured it, so that, I mean, it really makes our drivers that much more eager to find that deal and to help us make it happen.
Okay.
And
So-
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, are you guys giving the drivers options, upon like finding them, or are you kind of just like picking apart what they need and then just giving them a single option, or how are you doing that?
I think you just said that the right way, kind of picking apart what they need and what works
Okay.
for them, so we're giving them some options. And then
Each
there's
one's different.
even a few people, and there's very few, we don't do this for everybody, but some of the people that are maybe in different areas, or I mean, I guess you could say that we're kind of mentoring them. I don't know. But what we'll do is we'll actually give them half minus cost. So
Okay.
in other words, if I've got a group, and because I think we're operating 6-7 states at this point, and I think we've done deals in
Was it
3 or
safe to
4.
say we've got one in Indiana that, I mean, I just said it. So anyway, the guy is, I mean, he's just a go-getter. And we've had so many deals closed with him. He's one of those that will give half after cost, or after expenses, because it's just, I mean, he's making it happen.
Yeah, everybody wins.
So actually, as it turns out, one of our drivers is on today, who also just happens to be my nephew. So hey, Vince, wherever you're at, man.
Oh,
But I just got a text
Hey,
message from
Vince.
him. But so like, but yeah, man. So like I said, it just kind of depends. The people that we're splitting some of these deals with, we definitely see them like starting their own business at some time. So it's definitely kind of more of a mentorship kind of relationship, I think, than just, hey, you're driving for dollars, because we're teaching them some things. But and I expect them to do a lot of the work. Like
right.
they're the guys running the paperwork, showing the property, meeting the people, and helping put the deal together. And we're essentially
In our place, because they're in another
Right.
state, we can't be there. They're our boots on the ground.
right.
So they're earning that.
And you can absolutely do deals virtually without that person. You
Yes.
absolutely can. But we very much feel like we should share the opportunity with as many people as we can, because we all just want to get rich together.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to leave anybody behind. So
No.
it's either get on the train or get the hell out of my way.
I agree. It's collaboration, not competition. You guys.
Exactly.
Dude, there's enough.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I love the way
That
that
was
you just said that,
perfect.
Anthony, because
I've heard it a couple times. Yeah.
yeah, there's
Around down there.
right. There's over 1 million houses a month going vacant out there, and they're all just going to sit there and they're going to rot and they're going to bring down everybody's property values, and scum is going to move in. So look, they need people like us to go find those houses, to improve those neighborhoods, and to help make people's quality of life better, brother. So you keep doing what you're doing, Anthony. It was great to meet you. Hopefully one day I feel like you and I need to have a conversation. So look me up sometime,
Absolutely.
kiddo.
Pleasure to meet you guys. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Anthony.
Have a good night. Yeah.
Later, buddy.
Thanks, you guys.
One of the things that I heard you guys say was you pay your commission, and a lot of your drivers, they're very interested in real estate or they're a family member. And I wanted to point out that my observation has been that commission payment structure works well in those two cases. Is if it's somebody that's got an interest that they're wanting to learn from you, or take it as a step to start their own business, or if it's, your mom. So that's definitely in line with what I've seen in other businesses too, in terms of the commission payment structure.
Awesome.
Right on. Well, hey,
Doing
I guess
something
we're doing it right.
The reason why I wanted to mention it is because if you post on Craigslist and you're looking for a random person that's not a family member and they don't have interest in real estate, I have found that the commission structure falls flat on its face, because they got bills to pay, and they are just looking to make money. So they're going to go do another random job. They'll fizzle out on you after you train them. So wanted to throw that caution to somebody if they were wanting to use that structure.
I can agree with that. Tried that with a couple of Uber drivers, and that's exactly what happened. Let me go add 5 properties and I quit,
Yeah. You can do Uber drivers, but you just got to pay a different structure, is what I have found.
Yep.
Tim Hoke. Tim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, what's
Tim,
up?
what's going on, sir? How you doing?
How you guys doing? Thank you guys so much for this forum. A lot of great information coming forth. I just had a quick question. I've done some real estate back in the early 2000s and got caught up in that whole mortgage bubble, stepped out of the game. So I'm now looking to get back involved in real estate, and I figured wholesaling was going to be a great way for me to step my foot back into the game. My question is, how do you guys go about choosing and deciding like the types of neighborhoods that are going to be the best area to prospect for wholesale type properties?
So this is kind of a two-part answer, Tim. So first, I want you to kind of understand that the way that our business model is kind of set up is we knew that eventually it was going to have to evolve to long-term income, right? So long-term passive income, because that is truly where you build like great wealth. Now, part of that progression is to start with wholesaling properties to help get the capital to get those other things, right? And we're kind of in like second gear, maybe third at this point as to like where we're shifting to get this thing going, all right? As far as wholesaling properties, what we have found is that you can wholesale a property in any neighborhood. I don't care if it's a B, C, or D. And the thing, so there's one neighborhood in particular that stands out in mind, and it's a town near here that has really come down over the last 15 or 20 years, right? So you could, if you were to look at like, the sales history over the last 20 years, you can see where things started going up a little bit, the bubble burst and like that 2003 to 2008 period, right? And then everything just crashed. Foreclosures, empty houses, several years later, roofs are caving in, things like this. So we went into that neighborhood and a lot of people told us, hey man, you need to stay out of it. It's a bad neighborhood. And truth be told, maybe your hair's the wrong color. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be sensitive there, but I think you know what I'm saying, man. But look, dude, I mean, I'm in the military, so the only color I see is camouflage, brother. So we went out there anyway, and we brought our big old truck on 35s, and I parked it in the middle of the road. And I went up to, the group of guys that were watching the neighborhood and introduced myself and told them what I was doing there. And so, you know what they did? They said, well, that one's my cousin's house. That one's owned by Auntie Bertha over here. This one's owned by such and such. We got some squatters over here. We need to do something with this house because crackheads like to hang out there, whatever the case is. So we bought 4 houses in that neighborhood, right?
Wow.
All on the same block, right? Or within that same little walking area. And matter of fact, we just bought a 5th one yesterday. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is build up that whole neighborhood. And we've been able to do that. And because people are starting to know us and they've seen what we're doing, they're coming out, they're helping us, dude.
Yeah.
They're helping us.
We were out cleaning up one of the properties to be able to advertise it and get more money for it in a wholesale deal. We were cutting back the shrubs and, the overgrowth and trimming some tree limbs. And these 2 guys just walked up that had been in that first initial meeting. And they were like, hey guys, you need some help? And they had their gloves on and they were helping us load the truck with limbs and stuff. And the one guy still follows up. I mean, he'll call Brian. They became fast friends, I guess. And he's like, hey man, there's another house. There's another house over here on the next street. They've just kind of abandoned it. It's just sitting there. And, maybe you guys can come take a look at it. So, I mean, just don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to go in those areas. Of course, use caution, use your common sense. Go with somebody, partner, buddy, but don't be afraid to talk to people because chances are they have a story that they're wanting to share and they may know somebody, even if that property may not be available, they may have something else that is available. So you don't know what kind of deals can come out of that conversation.
Yeah. So one thing I will caution there, right? So let's say that was a C or D neighborhood, right? My favorite neighborhoods are the B neighborhoods. So we're talking, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a little bit older, where it's a pretty decent neighborhood, but nobody's done anything out there in the last 10 or 20 years, because those are the big
Cash
money
cows,
makers,
yeah.
the cash cows where you get that $20,000 assignment fee to a flipper, those sorts of things. And typically it's a lot less work if you decide, hey, I want to go ahead and flip this thing. So I like those. What I would suggest is that whatever you're going to do, pick that one thing, get good at it. Don't chase the shiny objects. Once you figure out this thing, then you can add step 2. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Or the thing that you're going to be working with. And that is just a humble suggestion. You don't necessarily have to go about it that way. We certainly didn't. We shotgun blasted everything that looked cool. and it just by the grace of God, it happened to work out, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so
Tim,
much,
thank you. I
Tim.
hope I answered your question, dude. I hope that
Feel
helped.
free to look us
But,
up on Facebook
yeah,
if you have
hey,
other questions or if we can ever help you.
wish you the best of luck. The world needs people like you, man. Get out there and get some houses fixed.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks Tim. Just a heads up, we've got less than 10 minutes left. So we're gonna get through maybe a couple more, and then we're gonna transition into a demo of the DealMachine software. Brian and Michelle are certainly very welcome to join us for that. We also know, I mean, you guys are giving up your evening. So just wanna let you guys know, we're gonna conclude the Q&A here in less than 10 minutes.
Okay, do you want to do a speed round? Like,
Yeah, let's do a speed round.
let's see how many we can get done, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Oh,
for
you're
a ride.
really gonna challenge me here too. And I had a question that I saw a couple people asking. The person I was gonna bring up wasn't here. So after Brandon, I do want to ask it because people were asking about it. But I need to bring up my man Brandon Dukes.
Brandon
Hey,
Dukes.
Brandon.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. What it is, man?
Good, good. Thank you guys for taking time out, like you said, and giving us all these nuggets. Really, really good. I had a question about the drivers in that initial like training process. How's that initial, when you guys are bringing on the drivers, how's that initial training process start? Like that day one training?
I make them watch the training videos.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Seriously, I make them watch the training videos, and I don't even entertain like a conversation with them until they've watched the ones that I want them to watch. Seriously.
Okay. Oh.
Watch these training videos. Call me. Tell me what you think about it. If they don't call me back, cool. No big deal.
Yeah.
Done. I don't waste any time.
That way they have a better understanding of what's expected and how the system works. And then we can have that conversation and they actually know what we're talking about. And better explain.
Right. And that conversation is just us telling them these are the kind of houses, these are the kind of properties I want you to look for.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like a filter. Okay.
Yep. Does that answer your question, Brandon?
Oh yeah, awesome. Thank you.
All right, brother. Speed round. Let's do it. Next.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, by the way, the training videos are actually part of the enterprise plan. In case you didn't know that, that's like a packaged set of 7 or 10
Definitely worth
videos
the money.
that you can actually put in place for your drivers to go through as soon as they sign up.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say. I just wanted Brandon to know that's on Enterprise, that whole training portal with a landing page.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
You did, Ryan. You were like ready to go, and I'm ready to get you on this round. So I'm gonna.
AJ, do you have a link that you can post for anyone who wants to learn more about the enterprise plan and the recruitment training videos?
Yes. Okay. So question while I key up the next person is, someone asked, a lot of people are asking, how do you find your buyers, or how do you build your buyers list? So I'm going to let you guys do that. I'm going to get the next person queued up.
All right. So there's a couple different ways you could do it. I'll just kind of tell you how we did it. We just went out and met people. We made ads to sell houses. We told people up front, we are wholesalers. We are assigning this. We are not the owners of this property. I see a lot of wholesalers that say, for sale by owner. And you can do that in most states legally, which is fine. And we may put up there, for sale by owner, but typically we just put for sale or assignment of contract for sale. Just that way people know right up front what we do. So we had a couple of people that we did business with and they liked us and they became regular buyers because we were very upfront.
Created a list.
And we are very, very good at running the numbers. So we became very good. And a lot of this is because, of Michelle's experience as a real estate agent. So she knows what an ARV is. Like she can get it down to the T. And then I'm very good at going and looking at a house and saying, okay, this is what needs fixed and this is about what it's going to cost. Right. And if I don't know, I know how to use Google. So that I think is really what kind of set us apart and made it that's how we found our buyers. They and our hard money lenders and things, they just kind of, I guess really they just kind of found us and we built that relationship with them. If you're having a problem with that, then put yourself out there, get in some REI groups, get on the DealMachine group. I've started to notice that there's actually buyers kind of sneaking in there. Get in your local REI groups through Facebook, things like this. Get on YouTube University and figure out who's buying in that area. Just put in the work, you'll find it, or they'll find you.
Great.
Oh, and you can mail to them. We send mailers to them too, right? So here's a trick. If I got somebody that owns a bunch of properties in, I don't know, Asheboro, North Carolina. So you know what we did is we found all the corporations that own a bunch of houses out here. We mailed them all. That's what we did. We said, hey, we buy and sell houses. Give us a call. Joseph, what's up, dude?
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Hey, Joseph.
What's going on, brother?
Excellent, doing excellent. I've been cold calling for another wholesaler, and I'm getting ready to start in my own market. And the question I had was, what is the minimum budget that you suggest for a person just getting started?
Minimum. Whatever doesn't hurt, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we started with a couple bucks, dude, like literally a couple dollars, like stamps. That very quickly turned into, you know, what did I say? I think our first deal cost like $600, maybe $700.
But we made 18 grand.
Yeah. So I suggest maybe you start with a little bit more than that if you've got it, just to be safe. The thing is, right, is it doesn't matter how good your tools are that you pay for. If you don't use them, they're not going to do you any good. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like you're already hustling. You're already doing a cold calling. You're making the things happen. So imagine if you put that business in, if you put that energy in your own business. Absolutely.
Yeah, and my next question, thanks for that answer, guys. I really want to thank you for taking your time to come on here and just to give your testimony. That's really great.
Thank you for taking time to talk to us.
Yeah, thank you. The next question is, when did you decide to go out to other markets?
It just kind of happened organically, to be honest with you. Other military friends, other people were starting to ask, hey, I see what you're doing. Can you show me? And then it just so happened that like one of our biggest deals was actually, in a state that we've never been to, or at least like we never saw the deal. It was done entirely virtually in a different place. And we just sort of, I don't know, man. I don't really have a clear answer for that other than the opportunity presented itself. So we took it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And the last question is, I guess everybody's that's on here is thinking to themselves, how can I get to their level of success? And I guess, what is the number one thing that you suggest that everyone do? And my thought on that would be is just to try, just to give it your best effort.
Yes, and persistence. Don't give up when you start, seeing money going out and you don't have a deal and you're waiting and you're like, is this going to work? Is this ever going to work? Are we going to, we're spending money. We're going to be bleeding soon and we don't have anything to show for it. It will happen. You just have to be patient and just keep working it. Keep working those deals. Keep reaching out. Keep making those contacts. I don't know what else to say.
Never give up.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. I appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for having me.
Joseph, thanks a lot, partner. Take care.
Thank you, Joseph. And guys, this is the last live Q&A, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be doing a demo walkthrough of DealMachine, and we'll be able to interact with you as well if you have unanswered questions. That is, I'm sure you guys are asking, how do I get in touch with Brian and Michelle? Thank you guys so much. You guys bring really great energy. That really stood out to me in this webinar.
Thank
you. AJ, you rock, dude.
Oh, thanks. He likes more than just my haircut. That makes me
happy. Yeah, but I love your haircut, man.
Thanks. I've been growing it out, trying a new thing. If you guys want to connect with Brian and Michelle, this is their Instagram. That is the best way to connect with them. What else do you guys have to say? I mean, I thought you pretty much dropped the mic when you said that you just shouldn't give up. It has to work. I mean, it has to work. It's working for people across the country. it's just a matter of not giving up. And I thought that was a really good way to conclude and put a bow on everything that you shared tonight. You got anything else?
One thing I'll say is, just like Brian said, don't give up. It's easy, especially, we're blessed that we have each other. And I know a lot of couples that we, talk to through DealMachine and through the contacts that we've met have each other. But I know some of these guys that came on today are doing it alone. Even if you're doing this all by yourself, if you get bogged down or you start feeling discouraged, reach out to us, reach out to some of those other mentors that you might have, and just get that encouragement that you need, that reassurance that you're getting there. Your work, sowing the seeds, and it's going to happen. It's going to come to fruition. And when it does, it's that much sweeter, because then you have somebody to go back and say, oh my gosh, guess what? I just did my first deal, or I just closed my 10th one. Share your successes. Don't be afraid to brag on yourself a little bit, because if you're killing it and you're really working the system, you're going to make it happen. I mean, it's just a matter of time. So if we can ever offer encouragement, I know Elise is really great, to reach out to, David, the whole DealMachine family. And like I said, your mentors, especially, just don't be afraid to reach out for encouragement if you're getting in that settle.
If you need help, don't be afraid to ask.
Exactly.
That's what it's there for.
One of the things that I felt like really impacted you was that neighborhood where you bought 4 homes, and then people were helping out for free because they actually cared about the neighborhood. They seem to care a lot about how you guys were helping out. And I just am so thankful you guys are continuing that here tonight with your helpful spirit of everyone on the webinar. So it's really been an honor to have you guys, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome, David. Thank you so much.
It's been an honor to have time to talk with you guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an honor to be on here and to be able to help answer some of these questions for people. And I wish everybody the best success in life, whatever your dreams are. Just go out and get them, man. Like, nobody's gonna do it for you. So get off your ass. If you're on the fence, get off your ass and get out there and get it done. I mean, what do you got to
Don't
lose?
be
A couple $100
afraid.
bucks? Forget it. Get it done.
Well, everybody give some love in the chat to Brian and Michelle. Thank you so much again. And this is the part of the webinar where we get to show you the ins and outs of DealMachine. And thanks again, guys. I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Brian and Michelle, I just have to say, I love them so much. So thank you guys.
I love you too.
It's just been such an honor to get to know you guys more. And you guys, I just can't even. So,
so we just bought a new toy, right? So we just got a Jeep to go cruising the trails. So if you guys ever come out this way, let us know. We'll go do some redneck stuff. We got this big national park out here and a nice 4-wheel drive. We'll go play on some trails and have some fun.
Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring it on.
We'll bring Josh Johnson from Raleigh there too.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, guys. Feel free.
Bye, y'all.
So go ahead.
Wow, they are great. Bring a lot of energy.
I love them.
And I love that you got a little shout out too there, Elise. A big shout out, actually.
Yeah, those videos.
I know, and I just love that they're helping out. So good.
Yeah, good segue was Elise asked me to do something really strange for a video recently, and I did it, and it ended up turning out to be a good one, I think. But there was a video that was viral last week, and Elise pointed it out. She's like, hey, do you think you could do this with your cat? And I had drove for dollars with my cat. If you guys missed that one, Elise posted it yesterday.
Okay, y'all need, I'm not just saying it to get the likes. I'm saying you need to see this. My boss wore a scarf, okay, with like his cat. And I made DealMachine sunglasses for his cat.
Oh,
that's what made it great. That's what made it magical, was the level of detail Elise went to. Was she hand cut out the DealMachine logo and put them on cat-sized sunglasses.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic.
So cool.
I maybe love my job. I don't know.
We try to make it interesting.
It shows.
It's epic.
All right. Okay, David, dive in.
Yeah, I know a lot of you were asking about budget questions. So we have a budget planner in the dashboard that may be helpful for you to play around with. So let's assume, you're in the Midwest, maybe the average, Brian and Michelle's first deal was like $18,000. That's really good. You may only make 5,000, that would be an average first deal. 10,000 we'll plug in here. And oh yeah, here's your deal size, 5,000 right here. Got 2 drivers. So if your goal is 2 deals per month, let's like tone it down here. Oh, I can't tone it down anymore. This is the enterprise dashboard. The beginner one may have some more flexibility. Well, let's just say your goal is 2 deals per month and you're in Indiana. So DealMachine members average 1 deal for every 300 leads in Indiana. Your dashboard says whatever your state is. So it says add 600 leads per month. That's how many leads you should aim to add. And thanks, Brian, just saw you in the chat. If you've got 2 drivers, maybe it's you and your wife. Each driver must add 75 properties per week. And that's probably going to take them 7 hours of weekly driving time because drivers typically add like 12 properties an hour. So your annual income from that would be about $96,000. So this may be helpful. Check out your dashboard and play around with some of the numbers and go see what your estimate looks like for your state here. And then you can plan accordingly. So this for the enterprise, this is a higher price. But if you got a dashboard on the basic and pro plan too to help you plan that out. Michael says, does it let you switch between different markets? Well, right now it's actually just based on whatever billing address you plugged in, I believe. So it wouldn't, but I'm happy to answer any questions, or you can even chat in to our support and ask that type of question. We can help you get answers to that. So the next important thing is future webinars. You can always find in the dashboard if you ever want to join us again. We hope that you do. There is some analytics on the dashboard as well. So this is how many leads my account. I actually have 4 drivers. They've added 4,100 leads in April so far. So the goal is set by the dashboard I just messed with at the top. That's why it says that. And that's why it says I really surpassed my goal. No active mailers at this time. I'm doing SMS. And this is how many leads I have in my system since 4 years ago when DealMachine was born. Been doing a lot of driving for dollars over the years. This other graph will give you 4 different comparisons. You can look at your leads added over different periods of time, mailers sent, profit, and when you close a deal, there's a place where you can mark the profit, and then total investment. So you can tell how much you're spending every month on mail and the technology. Also, if you are mailing, we have this calendar over here that you might have missed, but I wanted to make sure you saw it. It tells you how many mailers are scheduled to be sent in April, how much you should budget for that, and when those are actually going to be sent out. Those are marked by little red dots here on the calendar. And you can actually see the deals below. They'll load here in a second. And then your account activity in general, you can just at a glance see by clicking the little bell icon. Martin White was pretty active. He usually drives later in the day.
We have a video of Martin and Nate on our YouTube channel that I highly recommend you guys checking out if you want to get kind of like the inside thoughts of, why they responded to David's ad and everything and why they stick around. They've been with you for like, what, 8 months, 9?
I'm telling you, I don't want to boast, but I've got the driver thing figured out. There's 3 payment structures. You got to find the right type of person for each one. If you're curious, AJ's got a link to the video he's going to share with you. It's a full breakdown of how I do that. AJ, you got that handy? Oh, AJ, you're the best. All right, do you want to go onto the map at least?
Yeah, so super exciting. The map, if you have the Driving for Dollars plan, this is where you are mainly going to be. I have this as my default, which we'll show you a little bit later, but look at all that. You get to see where your entire team is driven, professional and enterprise. You have the route tracker. And so on here, this is where you pin properties. So you can see the little green dots that David has. Those are properties that are added to his leads list. Anything that's a black dot, that has yet to be added. So what David can do is click on those. He can select add property as he's driving. So this is where you can go and check your leads. If you're on the mobile app, you'll be able to set your location and then press the start driving button in the bottom. And then if you're on professional or enterprise, you can do free drive mode or planned route mode. Yes, I always forget that this can do this. So right there, so it says free drive mode on the desktop version, but there is a planned route if you are on our professional and enterprise. So what that means is you can put in a bunch of filters for a very niche list, or if you have a list you pulled and you want to see if there's more distress or pain points in those properties, it'll route you the most effective way to those properties. So talking about filters, you do have highlights, which you can click on and go ahead and highlight properties in your area that maybe have vacant or absentee, out of state owner. I mean, you can do everything with these. And I find that this helps a lot if, at least for people that drive for me, I tell them, I have this set for them to where they can look at those areas. And David's drivers actually said they really, really enjoy that because it tells them where if they think they've driven everywhere, they can zoom out and see like the areas they haven't, especially as a team too, because of the route tracking with the highlights feature. So this is just a really great tool to narrow down and find those places. Because if you're in a random area, you can just turn these on and see what houses you maybe should go look at and see if there's extra distress to them. So that's the kind of meat and potatoes.
Love meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes. Oh, I guess I should say, so the whole process, if we're going from start to finish, if you just started with us, is you get in the car, you press it to track where you are, location tracking, you press start driving, you start going, and then you start tapping and adding houses. Make sure you add the picture. It will prompt you for that with a little picture in the bottom to have you take it. If you don't take the picture, we do have the street pick option, which is an add-on that can give you the Google image if you forgot to add it. I personally use that if I'm, in a busy area and I can't pull over and take a picture. But yeah, that's your map.
Thank you, Elise. I also wanted to transition to answer Eric White's question, which would be on the next tab. Is I have the basic plan. Am I able to upload a specific list? And you can. It's right here under import list. So that's where you would do that, Eric. You don't have to have a special format, any CSV or Excel document. You can import, and then there's a process where you just map those fields to the fields that we offer in DealMachine.
Yes.
So this is our. Oh, you go, girl.
No. So this is like, what Brian and Michelle are talking about. This is on your phone as well, but this is your leads list. So anything you pull from our list builder, our Driving for Dollars plan, this is where you have it. So this is where you can do bulk actions such as sending out mailers. You can skip trace. You can change statuses, which that is like, a lot of people wonder what pending approval means, and that means that you haven't started marketing yet. And so it'll switch to with marketing after that. You can also put, Michelle talked about follow-up. That is where you can put all of those things. You can export this. You can delete properties. When you go in to view the lead, you can actually see a bunch of the information. You can pull up comps. You can text message through our SMS marketing. Like I said, skip tracing. And then a lot of people we find want to make systems of, they have certain criteria for things. So like I have an owner occupied campaign and an absentee campaign. So what I would do is go to my filtering leads and I would do absentee, the market that I'm in. And then could you press on filter leads real quick?
I sure can. I was just actually blown away by some new
How
skip
many
tracing
phone
updates.
numbers?
Yeah, because we're showing the caller ID of the phone number. So if you skip trace, you can see, oh, the property is owned by Curtis and Doris Fleener. And then this phone number right here, the caller ID is Fleener. So you know that's their phone number. Larry and Janice, some of these caller IDs don't necessarily have theirs. So let's see if we can, it just kind of like very quickly tells you when there's multiple phone numbers, which one you should probably call first. Like Mark Graves, this is the one I'm going to call first, not the wildlife rescue number. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got Kristen Lieber, might be Greg's daughter, sister.
Oh, and AJ just pointed out it's bold if it does match. That's awesome, AJ. I didn't even realize that. Okay, but I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. I had not seen that
great.
before.
That's
So
good.
Elise wants me to filter the leads. So this is what we're gonna do.
No, I was just saying, so like if you have different campaigns or different markets, I would sit down and I would do filter by absentee owner and in Indianapolis. But as you see, David has the preset. So you can set a preset to have all this criteria from the filters so that you just have to press the preset. So there's absentee owner. You can do out of state absentee owner. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a really great one.
Yeah.
I didn't know we had that either.
Oh yeah.
It's new, brand new feature.
And now also a new thing that you can filter through that actually someone talked about on Clubhouse last night and was super excited is you can go off of if they have a USPS address or not. So you guys can figure out what is vacant land.
Wait, how do I do that?
Go to filter leads and then it's USPS address. Does not have.
No leads. There's no vacant land in my
your list.
Yeah. Well, it's because they're adding houses. They're adding rundown houses.
Yeah, so that would be more for like what they were talking about is they accidentally pin some on and things like that, or if you have a list that you pulled. But that's just another filter. We're adding new ones all the time that you guys suggest in our feature upvote, which we will show you after this. But basically the lead list has a ton you can do. Highly recommend getting on one of our trainings too. I know we're doing this demo. We want to keep it moving, but get on one of our trainings to really go through and dive in on this. And you're with a live person to talk to.
This is so great. I'm taking a screenshot of this to put it on our website here. We need to make sure people know about this.
Look at those numbers.
It's very calming to look at them and see the ones that match. Okay, what should we do next?
Go to driving tab. Let's get some driving going.
All right.
David, I'd love for you to talk about this because you use this a lot for your team.
Yep. Yeah. So this is where when you're driving for dollars, you're going to be using the map usually. But if you want to see some more analytics about driving for dollars, that's when you check out this driving tab. So every week I hold a meeting with my drivers and I say, hey, how many hours did you drive? And then I trust but verify right there on the call with them. We do video chat and I go ahead and I filter by, remember that driver we looked at earlier, Martin? Let's see how many hours Martin has been driving this week. Where is Martin?
There he is, right below Laura.
Thank you. All right. So, and then now let's customize the dates. So the 8th through the 15th, he drove 51 miles and he drove for 10 hours. So this actually gives me accountability so that my drivers are driving the minimum number of hours every week, and also that I'm not overpaying them, not just taking their word for it. And then I will, pay him hourly The other thing I check is how many properties they added. They've got to add 12 properties per hour. And so I do a quick check on that as well. And if you guys want to know, I looked that up over here on the leads view. I use the filters just to see, you know, how many leads Martin added. And then what I do is I put it into a Google Doc here. And if they did if they didn't add 12 an hour, it's marked red. So they don't get paid for their full hours that week if they didn't meet all their criteria. And if they're just a little bit off, I color it yellow. So this is, you know, each driver has hours, leads, hours, leads, hours, leads, and that's how I do it.
I just love the accountability that you do this in front of the whole team.
Yeah, they all see everybody's results every week. So it saves me time. And it's also helpful if they, oh, the other thing I do is I'll spot check their leads. So here, I'll go into the leads view. I'll filter, you know, added by Martin. And then what I'll do is I'll make the pictures big. I'll be like, oh yeah, this looks like a good one. Good job. This one looks kind of new though, Martin. Why did you add this one? And if he added a house I don't want, then I'll give him feedback, but in front of everyone. So that way, if he adds like really nice house, you know, it's kind of strike one for Martin, but it's also strike one for everybody because they're there, they hear the feedback. So I don't have to say it twice. So that's another reason why I do it all together. All right, that's the driving tab. The other thing here is you heard on the Q&A, there's like a bunch of training videos. So that's part of the enterprise plan. You get a custom landing page. You can customize what the landing page looks like. Then there's a bunch of training videos you can turn on, and you can even require that they watch those videos. So we have a welcome, we got a payment video, and I pay hourly, but we also have videos done for you for the other payment structures. You could also make sure they understand if you want like really bad looking houses or just kind of slightly bad looking houses. So those are examples of how the enterprise package can help you add a lot of drivers.
All right.
You want to, talk about mailers?
Yeah, we'll do this very high level for you guys because this is a lot. There's a lot of customization you can go into this, but basically signatures is your return address, your phone number, your profile picture on the mailers. And so this is where you go if you need to change that, if you need to put a PO box or something like that. I will go ahead and tell you, David's picture fits really nice in this circle, but every mailer template's different. Make sure your head's not cut off. Preview the actual mailer template you choose. We have 10 of them. So the cool thing about, oh, this is where the disclosure is David was talking about earlier. So if you are a real estate agent, please, put your disclosure there. And then when you go to templates, this is where you can choose from 10 of our designs. This is where you change the colors. You can change the wording. You can pick from those templates of how you want it to look, and highly recommend just customizing, taking a little bit of time to do that. And then going on to campaigns, which is our $20 a month add-on. You can actually put them in a sequential drip campaign, which is where you can say, I want to do DealMachine Classic, wait 20 days, do handwritten font, then wait 30 days. And that's how you can do that. You can still do a campaign per se, but it would be the same postcard over and over again if you don't have the campaigns feature. So it just helps bring variety to your mail marketing. You're spending money on this marketing anyways. Like, you might as mix it up. Maybe a person gets, notices one postcard over the other. It just kind of helps you out. So you can make as many steps as you want. I know the Austins said they do 11 or 12 hits now, and they use our campaigns feature as well. And then the last thing under the mailers tab is that calendar feature David showed you earlier. And this is huge for budgeting. Just know that this is definitely something to look at to make sure you know how much you're possibly going to be spending that month on marketing. If you're wondering about what budget you need to have and what budget you need to stick with. Did I see one more thing under mailers?
Yeah, I think we should keep it higher level though. I think somebody said their brain was on fire because there was too many details. So I think if you guys have specific questions, we can dive in, but let's go to the lists.
All right, go ahead.
You, Elise?
Yep.
There's two ways that you can generate leads. We've talked quite a bit about driving for dollars. There is another way. You can just buy leads. So the reason and the way that you want to choose which one to do is right here on the homepage actually. So driving for dollars gives you the lowest cost leads with the greatest return on investment. List builder, you can get leads faster, but it does require more marketing because it's easy to buy leads and you're gonna have to send more marketing. So if you have a low budget, go drive for dollars. If you want leads fast and you have an unlimited budget, like maybe you get the list builder. And a lot of people use both because once they've kind of maxed out one channel, they want to go ahead and add a second channel. But this is how the list builder works, just so you know. So I could plug in my zip code. And literally anything will work. You know, you just have to do it long enough. You just have to have the right expectations. These are two different choices that you have. So you could select vacant just as a test. And it says there's 430 leads in my zip code that are vacant. And instead of a zip code, you could also just like draw your, around your block. Let's start drawing here. That's one way to do it. And same thing. Now I could see how many vacant properties are right here, 26. So that's the list builder. Cool. Let's go to text messaging. So text messaging is one way that you can reach leads. So we talked and heard a lot about mailing. You can send mailers through DealMachine. The text messaging platform is a separate product that you can use. It's actually the fastest way to reach leads. So mailers they take several days. Texting gives you immediate feedback. So the way that it works in DealMachine is you could take all your driving for dollars leads. And in fact, let me go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. Take 25 of these most recently added leads. I'll send a text message. And what it's doing here is I'm going to start the conversation. I have 9 different saved conversation starters. And it's going to rotate those. I'm texting all these people right now, actually. And what it's doing is it's using a different conversation starter each time. So that way my phone numbers don't get marked as spam. So just a little technical nuance there to help you guys out, make sure all those messages get delivered. Then once you send them, then you can start getting some responses. It looks like I got a response recently. And this is what the interface looks like. It works on your mobile phone as well. So Joseph says, what happens when you text home numbers? It won't let you. It already automatically filters those out for you. I don't even think it would fail. I think it stops you from it. It wouldn't allow you to text message that. Cool. Anything else you would want to add on about text messaging, Elise or AJ?
No, you covered it really well. Again, another training that we have. So if you do have any other questions or are interested, please go ahead and sign up. It's free.
Absolutely. Yeah, somebody was asking about the legality of text messaging, and the our case has been recently backed by the Supreme Court. The issue is that you can't use an auto dialer, and the Supreme Court actually recently ruled that an auto dialer is only something that randomly generates numbers. So this is not random number generation. And you should check out, get legal advice from your attorney. But I just wanted to mention that that was something recent that occurred that was in our favor. All right. Bam, let's go to the next tab. So if you have a friend that you want to join you in your DealMachine account, this is where you would invite them. So you have a few different options. You can give them different access. You can toggle on or off if they can see different properties and all that good stuff. So when I was first starting out, some of my friends wanted to use DealMachine. So I sent them this invite code and they got $5 free that they could use for sending mail inside of DealMachine. So you guys can do the same if you have anybody that wants to sign up for DealMachine, and you also get the same amount as well for sending mail. We also have a settings page. I know that there's a lot of stuff here, but if you ever want to change your picture or your password or see what subscriptions and products that you have, it's all right here. Default mailing options. Your, let's see what's in here. You can select like a certain type of mail template that you'd want. And we have this repeating mail feature so that just like Brian said, they changed, or it was Michelle, she said they changed their follow-ups from 7 to 12 touch points. That is the repeat mailing feature. You could say, send 12 mailers, just like that, and then update your default mailing options that way. Hey, what are you guys thinking of this demo so far? Let me know in the comments, what is the #1 thing you guys have taken away so far? What do you know about property tags, Elise?
I know that I only use a couple of them just to keep at least I only allow my drivers to see a couple of them. It's just, they're a lot. So property tags help when I'm filtering through, when I'm looking for things, and it also helps my drivers know what I'm looking for because they have to add them. So handicap ramp is really important, but I usually go for, they have to have at least tall grass, and that's like my main criteria is tall grass. I feel like that's always a safe one.
Yep, I always tell my drivers if they need like a mind jogger to remember what to look for, that you would actually just want to check out the tags and look for any of these things when you're driving for dollars. So if you guys are curious what to look for when you're driving for dollars, come check out the tags. You should be able to add one of these tags for any house that you're adding. All right, cool. Donald, if you have a headache, you should join. We have a specific training to help you figure out what is the best course of action for you. So AJ can post that. The tags, you can, I'm in the settings right now, but if you guys want to check out the tags, you can just click any property. And once you add that lead, then you can tag that property. It is right down here, tags. And you can say like, oh, this house is a trash hoarder, or it has rust, or anything like that, that you notice, and you can add tags that way and view them. Let's see. Why high grass? Well, Udi, if they are not cutting their grass, it probably means they're not at home and the house is potentially vacant. And that is why we would suggest adding any properties that have tall grass.
Dang, AJ, you were fast on that one.
That was very fast.
I will say the only other thing I want to mention on this is the open page on App Start. If you want it to open to like your map instead of the dashboard in your app, this is where you would put it. Or if you want it to go to your leads or lists or messages, this is a really great way to customize it to make it so that it's really quick and easy for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to open mine on the dashboard so I have a reminder of my goals.
Yeah.
Some people prefer to open it on the map, so that way when they're out driving for dollars, they can add properties very quickly. So those are the two main options that I hear people using. Hey, and if you guys want a feature, we actually listen, and you can vote and submit feature ideas on this feature upvote page. So the way to get to it is right from the sidebar of the app. And then last but not least, we've got support, instructional videos, and training material. So the training, if you guys have a headache and you need to know where to start, we make it really easy on this live training right here. Support is actually chat. They respond within every 5 minutes. So you can get quick answers to your questions that way. And then also instructional videos. You can check out all these videos that Elise has put together for you so that you can learn whatever it is that you're looking to learn. What else you got, Elise? AJ?
Those are the main things. Just don't be afraid to ask for help or to look at these resources or be on a training. They're really interactive. The trainers are very, very friendly. So please feel free to talk to them and ask your questions. We are here to help, and we want to hear about your guys' success. And when you do close a deal, because you will, we want to hear about it, and we want to interview you and give you some swag.
That's right. Loved hearing that Erica's takeaway was how to better utilize the dashboard. She didn't know about the goals feature. And got it. Tim loves the driving for dollars features and the ability to tag properties. Let's see here.
Oh, Erica, good thing you broke down that dashboard. Erica really loved that. She didn't know how to utilize that with the goals.
Yep. And if you guys want to follow up with us, these are the places to do it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. And we would love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, go to Instagram and see that video, David. And that was George, right?
Mm-hmm.
David and George started. It is excellent. And I really appreciate having such a cool boss that would do something like that.
It was a lot of fun.
Yay.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have an amazing evening, and join us for our next live webinar, which is going to be next Thursday. We also have live trainings daily. So figure out what you want help with and attend one of those live trainings that's going to be focused in more so on a specific idea or area of investing. So we hope to see you guys next time. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, everyone.